in franchise history.
Here comes Campbell. Down he goes.
The Jaguars turn up the heat even more.
Hey, that's the win.
The Broncos melt in the wake of a relentless offense.
Gerard, and he's got his receiver. It's a touchdown.
And the Jags roll out the welcome mat for Tim Tebow in a home opener to remember. This is Jaguars All Access.
And here are the Gatorade top plays of the game.
All right, play number 3 is actually 2, and they're both Marcedes touchdown catches.
Now, and here's the first one, and remember, this is after that 4th and 1 conversion, which Jack Del Rio went for it, and the team made it. Marcedes with an excellent catch there for 21 yards, and then the second one for only 10. But you got to remember, Tyquan Underwood set that one up.
With the 47-yard kickoff
47-yard kick return, and, you know, that was the only pass play that entire drive. I mean, Marcedes and Rashad got it done on the ground. 6 carries, 38 yards on that last drive.
On to play number 2, and here's another touchdown. This one to a guy who hasn't caught one in 6 years, Gerard Osgood.
I got to be honest, when the ball was in the air, and Marcedes don't lie, were you the side was going, oh, Kassim, please catch the ball?
You know what? When I saw the ball in the air, I didn't even know Kassim was in that spot. I didn't even know he was in the game, and then when I saw him catch it, I was just so happy for him because I know it's been a while since he's been in that position to catch a touchdown. So.
Right, well, first touchdown catch and
for
since
him
2004. Yeah. I mean, it was the go-ahead touchdown. Congratulations to him because he had a great game, not only catching that, but on teams.
His special teams, he's a monster, man, and he really, you understand why he's been to the Pro Bowl for special teams, and he does it in practice. He showed you what he can do on the field. He's just an athlete.
On to play number 1, and this one is obvious. Broncos driving, trying to get in position. Daryl Smith says,
And we're going to look at this play on the smart board because it was outstanding coverage and awareness by Daryl Smith, and he wears that C on his jersey for a reason. I mean, Daryl is a leader of this football team. Big-time play by Daryl. And really, Kyle Horton kind of messed up. He could have had somebody else elsewhere, but pressure. Aaron Campman was on the way.
Credit to Daryl Smith. He also forced that fumble on Correll Buckhalter early in the game.
+2 in turnover differential. Right. That makes a big difference when it comes to a game.
Oh, yeah. Anytime you can get turnovers and be in the positive, you won't lose too many games.
The defense for the Buccaneers. Not the Buccaneers, the Broncos, sorry. For the Broncos, they had to be waxed in the second half. That heat, that humidity. You guys moved up and down the field pretty well on them.
Yeah, and I think, you know, as the game went along, you know, you started seeing them get up slower, walk slower to the huddle. We're running up to the line. They're taking their time. And that's one of our advantages, you know, working in it every day. So that was definitely a bright spot for us.
To stay on your side of the ball for a minute, David Garrard had a career day rating-wise. When watching the film today, he basically hit every open receiver that he had. He had 5 incompletions, 3 touchdown passes, and you know that in opening kickoff weekend, there's a few other quarterbacks who threw for 3 touchdowns, Manning's and Brady. It's pretty good company.
Yeah, it is, and it's just a tribute to the hard work. We've really put in the work and really put in the time, and with the kind of offense that we have, it doesn't really matter who's in what spot. You know, as you can see, Kassim catching that touchdown. Like, it doesn't really matter who's there, just as long as everybody understands where to be. And then if you got a good grasp of the offense, anybody can catch the ball on any given day.
And the running game, which has been so much a part of this team's personality for so many years, 134 yards on the ground. It's a little below what you guys would like to be at, I'm sure, but the ability to grind it out, especially in that heat yesterday, and Maurice getting a lot of yards in the fourth quarter, made a big difference, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And, you know, a lot of people were panicking in the preseason, but you have to remember Evan wasn't there, Eugene wasn't there, and so that cohesiveness, like, everybody was, you know, we had to work with each other to really figure it out. And to come in this first game and really make that statement, we'd like to get Maurice well over 100 yards. But, you know, to come out there and have a balanced attack and really pound him in the end was big for us.
All right, so you're one of the guys with the C on the chest. You were named the captain yesterday. We talked about Daryl Smith. Aaron Campman, an unbelievable game. A guy coming back from a knee injury. We got some footage of him getting a sack and a half in that ball game. The overall impact that he's had, not just in the game, but in the locker room.
Right.
From what I understand, he talked to you guys this weekend.
Yeah,
this past weekend.
Campman is one of those guys. I mean, even when he was with Green Bay and we played against him, tough guy, motor, but really you can see his passion for the game. And for him to come to this team and really be that leader on and off the field, he's really going to boost the D-line and the younger guys. You know, we got a lot of young guys on that D-line, and for him to go out there and lead by example, it's only going to have them raise their play, you know, and he's a great leader, a great player, and I'm glad he's on our side. And
what about the impact of Campman on Tyson next to him, who had his first sack in his first game?
Exactly, and the one good thing about Tyson is, you know, even with every practice, he's getting better. And for him to be just as stout as he is and strong, and he's not a big rah-rah guy, he doesn't really say much, but when you talk to him, you can tell by the look in his eye that he's listening to you. And so for, you know, Aaron to be there to help him out, you know, it's going to pay real dividends for us.
You know, he is a good listener. You know, the move that he put to get that sack was taught to him by Mr. Loggeman.
Well, not completely. He had a little bit of a move that was already like that.
You helped him refine it. He listened to you.
He's learning a new one.
Good, man. See, and that's what it's all about. You know, it's being a sponge and, you know, listening to those who's done it before you and being able to go out there and apply it on the field.
Early in that ball game, it seemed like two teams that were in their first game. You know, offense is still trying to find their rhythm. And when you have a game like that, special teams and field position are so important. Adam Podlish came out of the gate and hit a 56-yarder that put the ball down. I think it was at the 7. He had one later on, the one that Kasim tapped back in. It was down at the 4. What a huge impact that was for you guys, particularly early in the game.
Yeah, and you know, that's one of the phases that Jack really puts emphasis on is special teams helping us and putting us in good position so we can score. And not working against us. And field position was a big key yesterday. And, you know, whenever we can get the ball on the other side of the 50 or 45 or pin them down at the -2, you won't lose games that way. And I feel like yesterday, special teams, defense, offense, we all, you know, complimented each other.
It was probably one of the best team wins that I've seen in a long time.
Definitely.
I mean, you look at the contribution across the board. You mentioned some of these. I mean, but Tyquan Underwood had a role. David Jones, who you just got this past weekend.
Instant.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, he's fresh off the plane from Cincinnati and comes into the game. And just, you know, is in there like he'd been there the whole time. And that's what kind of team we are. That's what we are about, you know. And I think everybody gets the message inside the locker room that everybody has a role. We're going to need everybody, you know. So prepare like you're going to be a starter, you know, and everybody understands.
Here we go. It's real today, man. It's real.
What's up, man? Preseason done. Camp over. Now it's time for the real deal. Let's get it.
First thing, eyes up here quick, y'all. Get out of here. Okay, when you start going sideways, as soon as you can get vertical, do so because it changes the play. Change the play, all right?
Let it rip.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. First one of the year. Many to come. Let's go. We got to keep doing it, though, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right there. Great job. Yes, sir. Let's go, baby. Yeah, baby. Once again, we got to keep doing it, though. We got to keep doing it. Got to keep getting my dogs involved.
This is Jaguars All Access. From Jacksonville, this is Jaguars All Access. Brought to you by Everbank, the official bank sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Don't miss this opportunity. Your local Southern Ford dealers and Jaguars Ticket Exchange. To buy and sell Jaguars tickets, visit jaguars.com/ticket exchange.
Folks, if you weren't at the stadium yesterday, you were in the wrong place. It's not too late, though. You can be there when the Jaguars host the Eagles and the Colts in the next 2 and 3 weeks. Still a lot of great seats left. Log on to Jaguars.com or call the ticketing office at 904-633-2000. Welcome back. Time for the second quarter here on Jaguars All Access. Jeff Lageman takes us inside the Jags film room over at the Smart Board every single week. And, Jeff, look, it was a really good performance yesterday, but it wasn't perfect. And obviously you saw that when you looked at the tape.
No, it wasn't perfect, but there's certainly going to be some areas that they're going to focus in on this week, I'm sure. And one of those areas is going to be the play of the cornerback position opposite of Rasheed Matheson. In that game, Derek Cox had a rough outing. I'm going to take you to the point in the game in which they said, okay, that's enough of Derek Cox because he made a mistake for the second time on a very similar play. Here he is at the top of the screen, and he is basically a deep third player. The safeties are going to rotate. One's coming up. Okay, Considine stays back in the middle. So Derek has basically 1/3, and he has to carry that receiver into that area. And what happens is on the turn of his hips, he falls behind, and then the ball gets over the top. He's got to be able to play that closer in the game. So he gets taken out of the game. The newly acquired David Jones comes in, and it's amazing. You know, as soon as David Jones gets in the game, here he is. They were actually having to get him lined up on the correct side of the formation. This play is a blitz. Okay, and the reason I'm showing this is what is called peel coverage. There's Derek Harvey. There's a back in the backfield. The widest guys, the ends, will have to peel on him in man coverage. It's man coverage all the way across the board. And Derek Harvey does really kind of saves himself here a little bit because he almost misses the running back, but he gets a little piece of him right there. And then he gets in a trail position, gets his eyes back to the quarterback, and he gets his hands up and ends up batting that ball down. An excellent play by Derek Harvey, who had a pretty solid game. The last play of the game, I talked about awareness by Darryl Smith earlier. Here he is. You've got two deep safeties over the top. And how teams like to beat two deep safeties, they want to get a vertical guy down this way, vertical guy down this way, and then you get one guy up in the middle of the seam. Well, somebody has to carry that middle seam or the safety can't make a decision, and Darryl ends up falling beautifully up on that middle seam and falls underneath and makes the play. A heck of a play by Darryl Smith, and there's a reason why he ends up wearing the C on his chest, Brian, because he's a captain and he just makes plays time after time again.
Is Jaguars All.
Come back to the third quarter on Jaguars All Access. Me, Jeff Lageman, joined by Marcedes Lewis, and Jack said in the locker room there about total team effort. It really was, wasn't it?
Yeah, and like I said earlier, from the offense to the defense to the special teams, I felt like everybody came in with the same goal, and we're all pulling in the same direction to get the job done, and that's what we did.
And I've got a couple plays here because, you know, team efforts, you know, are all great and wonderful, but I mean, people have to have good plays as a team.
Right.
And this is a guy that I thought has taken a huge step up in the play level that he has, and that's Eugene Monroe at left tackle against Robert Ayers, their first-round pick from a year ago. This is called getting thrown out of the bar, isn't it?
Right. Oh, yeah. And that's the kind of things that we expect out of Eugene, and that's why we got him here. And Eugene grows every single day, and he's one of those that had a great camp, and we look forward to him doing the same type of things for the rest of the season.
And this play I picked up because, I mean, holy cow. Justin Smiley leading the way. Look at the block he gets over here. And then Greg Jones following up. I mean, Maurice Drew can't be Maurice Drew without blocks like this. I mean, these are outstanding.
I'm telling you, that's just how you draw it up. Smiley squaring them up. Greg coming on the outside, chopping them down. You know, and Maurice is doing the rest, and blocking downfield.
Blocking downfield by Mike Sims Walker.
And that's what Jack talked about when he said the whole team effort. Nobody's being selfish out there.
All right, well, here's a play that I just wanted to finish it up with because these are two outstanding young tackles. And take a look at the tackles. Okay, I'm going to freeze it in just a second. Okay, right there, there's a tackle there and a tackle there. Now watch how they finish this play out. Double pancakes.
Oh, yeah.
Double pancakes right there. That's what you want to see.
And that's one of the big things that we wanted both of those guys back. And when they were out in the preseason, you know, it kind of hurt us a little bit because it was hard to get our togetherness as far as the running game going. But you see what happens